Hey y'all, my name is Michelle Dukes, aka Mimi, and welcome to Check This Out LA. This is where the hip hop culture meets the tech world. So, welcome to the show, and today we're going to be talking about the metaverse. And many of you have heard of the metaverse. You know, Travis Scott and Fortnite and Little Nas X and the Roblox commanded the biggest headlines around the latest wave of music and gaming crossover. But there are plenty other partnerships happening too. Travis Scott killed it with the live online attendance of more than 12 million people. Rapper Little Nas X took the metaverse within Roblox. And these huge events complete the music and the surreal 3D graphics are the perfect example of Silicon Valley's new buzzword, the metaverse. With us having this in mind, we had to have the CEO and the founder of DNABLOCK, Mr. Anthony Kelani, a Black-owned company focused on the metaverse. Hey, Anthony.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, everything is going great. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here and talk about the metaverse and the culture and everything. Spreading the knowledge.
Man, I love it. Well, first of all, is this part of the metaverse what we're looking at right here? Talk to us a minute.
This is a representation of me in a virtual world in the metaverse. So,
Okay.
the metaverse is actually a concept from science fiction. It's believed to be successor to the mobile internet. It was actually coined from a book called Snow Crash that was in 1992.
Okay.
And obviously, meta means beyond and verse means universe. So this book kind of went into depth about, how avatars are a visual representation of how we would look in the metaverse.
Okay.
Yeah. And so.
I love it. I'm so excited about it. I need my own, reenactment of myself. I need to be in the metaverse, so I'm excited about this whole situation. But, a lot of people are not familiar with the metaverse and in the hip hop culture. What does that mean to the metaverse? When we talk about hip hop and the metaverse, how do they collide?
Right. So I think first it's important to understand what the metaverse is. There's been a lot of talk in the media about the metaverse, but we need to really clarify what the definition is. And, it's often mistaken for just a virtual world or just VR or a game like Fortnite or Roblox. But you got to think about the metaverse as kind of like the internet, right? So, the iPhone, Google, Facebook are not the internet. They are applications and hardware on top of the internet. So you got to think about the metaverse as the successor to the internet. So there's going to be virtual worlds and different applications and things on top of the metaverse. The virtual worlds are just one piece of it.
Okay.
Fortnite and Roblox are just a virtual world that is part of the metaverse. So it doesn't really mean just a virtual space where you can hang out. So there's a top thought leader in this space called Matthew Ball. He has a website and a lot of blogs on it. And he has a really great primer on what the metaverse is, but the true metaverse is still evolving. There's some core attributes to the metaverse, and I'll list them out. It's one, persistent. It continues indefinitely. It doesn't pause, or there's no reset button on it. It's synchronous and live. So it'll be like a living experience that exists for everyone in real time. It can have infinite concurrent users. So anyone can be a part of the metaverse and attend specific events and do things at the same time. It also will have a fully functioning economy. So individuals and businesses, artists, people in the music industry can, create, own, and sell and invest and be rewarded by, their customers and fans for experiences and things that they produce in the metaverse.
Wow, exciting.
Yeah, it also spans digital and physical worlds, and it has open and closed networks. So you can have open environments and closed environments where, you maybe have to pay to get in. It's also interoperable. So different assets and avatars and data can be transferred across different experiences in the metaverse. And then finally, the whole metaverse will be populated with content and experiences created by other people. So, it could be individuals, companies, groups of people as well. So just like the internet is a wide set of protocols and different technologies, the metaverse will also be that too.
Wow. And by you saying that, I read an article that Facebook is, adding the metaverse to
Yeah.
their platform. And so it's so interesting you brought them up because I was going to
Right.
bring that up as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, Mark Zuckerberg announced that Facebook will become a metaverse company. Obviously, they bought Oculus, and they're kind of in a VR space. And I think today they just launched a platform for like the future of work. So like a virtual like workspace. Facebook has a lot of ideas. Let's not get mistaken. Facebook is not going to own the metaverse. They will
Right.
be a part of it. Just like everyone else can be a part of it and stand in the metaverse alongside Facebook on the equal playing field. So we kind of have to understand it's really open, just like the internet.
Oh wow! Now you mentioned being a part of it. So if someone wanted to be a part of the metaverse and they wanted to be a part of this movement, what would they need to do? What would be the steps that they needed to take, or how can they go about that?
Well, the metaverse is still actually forming. We're still trying to figure out what exactly the experiences are in it. But I would say the recent kind of glimpses of what kind of the metaverse spaces and the virtual spaces is that you can go into kind of virtual lands, like Decentraland is one of those, and there's a few virtual lands out there where you can make an avatar and you kind of hop around different spaces. With our company, we're trying to make it easier for creatives to be involved in the metaverse. Um, especially specifically in the virtual space. So, um, like the avatar I'm using right now, it would for someone, an artist, or anyone to come in and create their own avatar. There's a few avatar companies, but for someone to create an avatar like mine, that's super photorealistic, that looks like themselves, or they can morph it into another character, would be very, very hard today because the animation industry is very specialized. It takes coders and things like that to create these avatars. So we've created a platform that allows people to do what an high quality animation studio would do, but create actual avatars and 3D content on their own without having to know coding. So basically like no code for 3D animation. And so there's these, there's the virtual spaces and avatars. That's kind of like the early stages of the metaverse. But as we go along and get more technology is developed, we'll start to see other aspects where the metaverse starts to expand into the physical world, where there'll be like digital twins of like factories or workspaces and things like that, that mirror real life, but in a metaverse. So I'm really excited to see like what people develop and ideas that people come up with around that.
Wow,
Yeah.
science sounds so exciting. I'm excited just talking about it. I mean, it has so
Mhm.
many legs on it. And
Mhm.
that brings me to another question for you. So, Black musicians have always been trailblazers in the music, always first to embrace technology. How can they
Yeah.
monetize themselves in the metaverse?
Yeah, I think today, especially with COVID, like artists has been hit hard, with the challenges of COVID and not being able to tour. And so I think the metaverse is starting to provide some opportunity for artists to still engage and have events for their fans remotely. I'm pretty sure you've heard about, the Fortnite experience that Travis Scott and more recently Ariana Grande. But,
Mhm.
there's, let's kind of break down what happened with that, and how that kind of changed music or just made Travis Scott like this whole new type of artist. So basically, in his uh his um his concert, there were nearly 30 million people that spent time fully immersed in his music. I think the concert was like 9 or 10 minutes or something like that. Travis Scott wasn't even physically there, but he debuted his music there. And the people that attended were included diehard fans, even casual fans, and even people that never even knew who Travis Scott would even existed. Like there's no experience in a world where like you can get that degree of reach across the world, like in a virtual space. And so what happened is that single actually ended up going, the single that he debuted during the event actually debuted on, number one on Billboard, a week later. I think it was like Kid Cudi's first Billboard #1 and biggest debut of 2020. And there were other tracks from Travis Scott's album that was older at that time. I think it was a couple years old at that time that actually returned to the Billboard charts because of that event.
Wow.
Right. So like, this kind of shows you a glimpse of like what the top opportunities for artists, especially in a virtual space, to be able to perform live to an entire world and for their fans, but also for other audiences that never even heard of them before across the world, and monetized by selling tickets and digital merch. I mean, they made tens of millions of dollars off that event, off of just digital t-shirts and like, emotes and stuff like that. Right. So, artists can take advantage of this by performing. They can also sell digital items, digital goods. Digital goods have been a multi-billion-dollar market even before COVID through video gaming. There's an emerging economy called the direct-to-avatar economy, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Then there's like the blockchain and NFTs that add a layer of exclusivity and opportunities for artists to directly monetize their creation and allow them to participate in the secondary sales of those things. So there's a lot of stuff that artists can take advantage of. And I think Travis Scott is kind of one of those, like, he's one of the most influential artists, I think, in the millennial and Gen Z generation. He showed us a great view of what can happen, with this type of, experience. So, the newest artists got to take advantage of that. And I think the top artists will embrace the metaverse. They will emerge as the top artists because they embrace the metaverse.
Wow. So what are deals looking like in this space? So when they, get on the metaverse, how are the deals orchestrated, and what does that look like?
Well, like I said, Travis Scott and Epic did this, event, and it generated tens of millions of dollars. We don't know the exact numbers, but we estimate tens of millions of dollars because of the amount of, it might be hard to believe, but, it's the amount of people that attended, the amount of merch, digital merch that was sold. Fortnite is a free game, right? But it generates billions of dollars for Epic through digital goods sales.
Wow.
And none of these digital goods give you an advantage in the game at all. It's literally cosmetics. It's pure cosmetics. So, I think, the reason that DNABLOCK, we're focused on, fashion and music is because that's that low-hanging fruit. A lot of people are involved. People want digital merchandise. They want to have they want to be able to dress their avatars up and look cool, and maybe buy clothes they're not even able to afford in real life, but actually have their, avatar have a bunch of drip on, and just stylish, and that's what people like, and that's what people are spending money on, and I think it's just going to grow from here.
I agree. They'll have their avatars dripping better than them, right?
Yeah.
Right. So how much are artists offered to participate in the metaverse?
Specifically for like Travis, I don't know how much he was offered to do it, but I just think that really the offer is, it gives artists, opportunity to create their own experiences and products that can be directly sold to their fans. So I just think that if you're an artist and you want to be relevant in the near future, you better embrace, this space and be thinking about how to monetize this, this space. Just like the internet, you can get started with a team, think of products and experiences that you want to create. Especially when our platform comes out, you'll be able to do that pretty easily. I think, that's the offer, just the ability to participate in the next iteration of the mobile internet. We're DNABLOCK, we're creating tools to enable, artists to be able to do that and build, perform, and publish high quality 3D experiences to the metaverse. So,
yeah. Wow. So exciting. So is there a particular business model for involvement, or is there certain businesses that are better in the metaverse versus others?
I think, I had mentioned the direct to avatar economy there, digital goods and merchandise, virtually bought. You can sell those, you can acquire some of these assets, digital clothes, art, stuff like that. And actually, the value goes up, kind of like the art, market, and you can sell it in secondary sales to someone else. I think there will be many different entertainment franchises and consumer brands that will be created in, for the metaverse. New fashion houses will emerge, I think. Virgil Abloh has spoken directly about this. And I believe the quote, let me see, the quote here was, he said, "I want to make virtual clothes to paint pictures physical clothes cannot, and let buyers access a new dimension of their personal style, no matter who they are, where they live, in the virtual worlds they love." So, like the creator economy is booming. The metaverse will be expansion of this creator economy. Also, imagine being able to commission and sell independently created virtual goods, and being hired as an architect to create a virtual space for someone, an artist, or someone that wants to have a virtual venue, or being, we talk about the TikTok dancers and how they want, especially like later, like recently in the news, where the Black creators kind of stopped on TikTok because other people were monetizing and like benefiting from their creations. But imagine, a world where you can be a dancer and you could finally be able to monetize your craft by selling the motion capture data of your dance as an NFT that avatars can use in a virtual world. So people can buy your dance, like the actual data of your dance, and have your avatar have their avatar dance like you, right? So this creates a whole new experience and a whole new business model for like dancers and performers to like capture the data of their movement. Imagine being a promoter or somebody that owns a music, like a stadium, where artists can perform in the metaverse, and you can rent that out to people. Attendees can buy tickets. I think there's a ton of opportunity for investment, residual income, service-based income. A lot of these businesses mirror they mirror the real world. So, just imagine business models in the real world and they're mirrored into the metaverse. You'll start to see that.
Yeah, that's so exciting. So do you think the games like Fortnite and Roblox are leading the change or the charge in this space?
Yeah, so I think Fortnite and Minecraft and Roblox are like the biggest and most popular virtual worlds. But I don't feel like they have the true interoperability of a real metaverse, because a lot of these games, you can only keep your characters inside of the walls of the game, right?
Okay.
You can't transfer, a Fortnite character to like Roblox or something like that. And Metaverse allows you to do that. So, but it gives us a taste of what these worlds could be. I think blockchain right now is giving a rise to new platforms that will displace these virtual worlds, or become the leaders of these virtual worlds in the metaverse. So like, for instance, one that's really popular is Decentraland. Another one is called the Sandbox. There's another one called Somnium Space. These are currently in development now, and they all use blockchain to make them truly interoperable. So, like Decentraland and the Sandbox are kind of like the metaverse version of Minecraft and Roblox, but they're interoperable. So you can bring your digital assets into those spaces from other worlds. Specifically for us at DNABLOCK, we're creating a virtual platform that's focused on music, entertainment, and fashion first. We have our own creator tool that allows you to create assets, avatars, immersive experiences. We provide creative services as well. We have a marketplace that we're coming out with for digital assets, and we have an economy to support it. So, we're also upcoming in the space as well. We're also going to be launching our own virtual world, coming up pretty soon. There'll be some details on that coming out soon. So,
okay. So DNABLOCK is carving out their own space in the market right now.
Yes.
You're going to have your own avatars and your own. That's exciting. I mean, as the CEO, what are your thoughts on this? It's so exciting, right?
Yeah, it's exciting because I love creating access for people, and that's the whole purpose of DNABLOCK. Like I said, the animation space and avatar creation space is highly specialized, and it takes really specialized people to create them. But we're offering, what these highly creative or highly specialized people, have. We're offering that capability to a regular user that's creative. And so, our real mission is to democratize 3D animation for the masses. Everyone will have an avatar to represent themselves in the metaverse. And they will also come up with their own other characters and identities that could become valuable IP, right? You can create a virtual, music, music performer, that has a whole team behind it, maybe a music writer, a dancer, and a vocalist, and they're representing one avatar, and that avatar has his own career. And so, we call ourselves, really Pixar for the people. Like we consist of a creator tool called Replicant. It allows you to design photorealistic avatars, control them, and perform to generate content in a 2D or 3D format. You can even produce NFTs from those creations. They can be used in other virtual worlds. And they can also be published to our upcoming virtual world as a persistent, live, immersive experience that anyone can join and participate in, with other people.
I love it. Especially now since the world is changing so much. We have to wear masks. We can only go certain places. And so, in the metaverse, you probably won't have to wear your mask. You can go wherever you want to go. You can go party with your friends and drip. So I think it's so exciting,
Right. And they extend beyond, just beyond COVID, right? So, a lot of people think that, oh, this is just because of COVID. But, imagine this, experiencing things on the other part of the, on the other side of the world that maybe you wouldn't experience, in, real life, right? Maybe you can't travel or something, or maybe you just want to find out what, what other stars are, what other performers and what other types of music and things are on the other side of the world. You can actually be now in the metaverse, be immersed in that culture and that experience. And there's other extensions beyond just entertainment. There's, identity is important, right? And sometimes in parts of the world, identity can be, having your true identity out could be actually unsafe for you. Imagine, a journalist going to another part of the world and they want to interview someone about, what's going on in their region of the world, but they don't want to be actually identified, because it could be unsafe for them to do that. We're coming out with synthetic media now and avatars to actually help, people to be, anonymous. They can still interview and be in front of the camera, but be as an avatar, as an alternate kind of like identity in front of a camera, right? So that can help protect them, and also help them be able to speak for activism and things like that. So, that's another thing that we're looking at as well. And, it's going to revolutionize so many different industries, beyond just entertainment, so.
No, I love it. So is there a way to protect your avatar that someone doesn't get a hold to your avatar's information and now they're using your avatar to get your bank account with your friends? You know what I mean? Like, we're a technology where people are always catfishing or playing games, and do that in the regular world. So I'm sure they're going to try it in this world. How can we prevent that, or what do we do to protect ourselves in the metaverse?
Yeah, I mean, we're still trying to figure that out. A lot of us in this kind of synthetic media avatar space, we're starting to form these kind of groups and talk about ethical matters around identity. And I think it's important for us to have these conversations and make sure that, we just are mindful of these things and work with, legislation to figure out ways to protect against that with technology. We obviously want our platform to be used for good purposes and not nefarious purposes. So, the technology is still developing, but we're working to protect against, bad uses of the technology. And so, as we progress, I think we'll be able to start to figure that out. As companies, even if we're competitors, we still need to talk together and decide together about, like, how do we protect against this type of nefarious use? So
absolutely. So with that being said, NFTs are popping.
Yes.
How can this be included in the metaverse?
Yes, NFTs are booming. Blockchain is booming. There was a lot of hype around it, but it's still continuing, and people are, there's plenty of platforms utilizing them for various things. There's NFT collectibles like digital art and music, which can be displayed and played, anywhere in the metaverse. So, like, some people are buying digital art as NFTs and kind of like putting them in virtual galleries in Decentraland and other virtual art galleries. Like I mentioned before, there's digital clothes and props and things like that. I think beyond, digital items that can be represented by NFTs, I think I'm really super excited about the ability for NFTs to enable access to opportunities between different parts of the metaverse. So like there's these kind of like clubs coming together, like Board Ape Yacht Club. Like they sell these different art pieces, but they're also like giving access to this exclusive club if you buy the NFT, and you can participate in, you know, some of the upcoming projects they have. I think they're coming out with like, I think a video game and a few different other projects. So if you hold that NFT, you get access to those types of things. But like, you know, say Kanye West released his next album as an NFT or whatever, you know, that NFT could like unlock really dope stuff, like access to his events in real life, or you know, that NFT could transform into something else over time to give like maybe a sneak peek of his next album. I mean, there's so many like really cool creative things behind just like static art that people can have with NFTs. And the great thing about it is that people can sell that access as the NFT on the secondary market. And you know, that's great for artists and creators, because traditionally in the art, you know, if you sell your art piece, you kind of don't have access to it anymore. You know, you sold it to someone, they can sell it for more, and you actually don't get to participate in that revenue. With NFTs, as an artist, you get to participate. So when that NFT is sold to a third party or a fourth party or whatever, that original artist still gets a piece of that. So
Wow.
yeah, so I think it's really great for artists. You know, struggling artists, they can still receive residual income from their original art if it sells in the secondary. Never in history could an artist ever do this, because you know, you'll be able to, you know, as an artist, you'll be able to continuously receive payments as, you know, as your art appreciates over time. Actually, is a really cool story. I actually found out another group of animators that created this animated show called Stoner Cats, and they shopped this show around to a bunch of studios. They were trying to do it as like a regular cartoon, regular show, but they had trouble finding funding. So they ended up doing an NFT sale, ended up raising $8 million from NFT purchasers to fund their creation of their content. And these NFT holders gained the right to view the content and could even sell their NFT on the secondary market. And that group also went to organize what we call a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, that allows the token holders to vote on the narrative for future content. So they got to actually participate in the creation of the content as well. So that gives you like a view of like what artists can do with their NFTs.
Wow, that's amazing. So tell me something. How did you get into this space? What made you decide? You know, you're the CEO, DNABLOCK. What got you there? Talk to us about that.
Yeah, like the emergence of like this whole metaverse thing is kind of fairly new. You know, but my co-founder and I would kind of always imagine there would be this like new layer on top of the internet that can mimic real worlds. And luckily we met, and you know, we continue to, you know, build, you know, this whole idea and build out DNABLOCK. But for me, I've always been like a dork, you know, a nerd, and like a big sci-fi fan. I've been a gamer, and I've been a coder, you know, in the computer science since I was probably like 10 or 11 years old. So I've been in this space. I like the movies like The Matrix. I played, you know, games like kind of like first person shooters like Wolfenstein and Quake, some of the first ones. I've been part of these communities where we mod the games, and where you could hack and alter the game with your own custom skins and characters. And like you could put new functionality in the games, like weapons and things that the original game maker didn't make. So like this has been around where like, you know, people have been hacking games, and it's always been cool to be a gamer. It's just, you know, now it's like getting mainstream. But, you know, really DNABLOCK kind of emerged out of our love for storytelling and gaming. You know, my co-founder Luke was, before we met, he was actually building the initial product, and I was introduced to him by another founder I had been mentoring. And then as soon as we got together, he showed me kind of like the early stage of what he'd been working on in kind of real-time gaming and in animation. And he had been working on something in Unreal Engine. So Unreal Engine is a game engine that our technology runs on top of. Okay. So when he showed me this, my eyes totally lit up, and it was like a match made in heaven for us to like continue this like mission together. And so we worked over the last couple of years on making this product awesome. And it's been an amazing journey and really great timing for us now that like NFTs and blockchain and the metaverse is coming together. I was actually explaining this concept in the metaverse like last year and NFTs and all that, to investors last year in 2020, and no one really knew what I was talking about. I did a lot of educating around it, and now everybody, a year later, everybody's talking about the metaverse and NFTs, and as you can see, the space is moving really, really fast and accelerating. So, that's kind of the short story of how I got involved, and
Yeah, I love it. Why do you think it's important for Black people, especially musicians, to get involved in the metaverse, in the movement?
I say, for me, as just some, Black person in tech and just in the space, it's not many of us speaking out. A lot of rooms I'm in is, very like one-sided, usually like white and male. I think it's important for someone like me. I think it's important for people of color. I think it's important for women to be involved in this space as well, because the metaverse is going to represent the world, what the world looks like, right? We can't just, have only creators of one background creating for the metaverse. We have to have everyone, representing, different cultures and races and just everything in the metaverse. And I think it's important for us as Black people to participate in this new economy. This economy is estimated to be the future $1 trillion economy.
Wow.
Yes. And so, you could probably imagine, like, it's important for us to have stake in this. We can't close our eyes to this. We have to be involved. We have to, have our stake in this as well as creative people. Black people are some of the most creative people in the world. As how we made, Instagram big, TikTok big, we make all these platforms big, but it's time for us to start to own some of these properties and own, pieces of these platforms, rather than just contributing and just, contributing to organizations and big companies making money off of us. We need to participate in this. And so the metaverse gives opportunity and leveling the playground, the playing field, to us to create and sell directly to our fans without middlemen. That is the key. The metaverse and blockchain technology allows access to that. No longer do we have to be held to Facebook or Apple or Instagram or whatever, holding our data and telling us when we get kicked off the platform and owning our followers. Like, we can do this now on our own. So, that's just, that's what I have to say on it. And, I urge everyone to do their research. Don't just jump into things. Just do your research, read and see what people are doing in it, and make your decisions.
Absolutely. So, as a Black tech entrepreneur, what are the hurdles that you run into in this industry?
Where do I start? Just to stay on like in the topic of like animation and metaverse, I think, besides like investment and capital and things like that, I would say that one of the biggest things I've noticed is lack of representation of people of color in the 3D animation space.
Okay.
Specifically in the techniques of creating avatars. There's a lot of avatar creation companies out there now. You can piece together your own avatar, and you probably play around with it and see that like most of these are very Eurocentric focused. When it comes down to the skin and hair specifically, right? Even with like the AI technologies, like even with our journey in creating our technology, we have an AI pipeline that allows people to basically take a selfie and convert that selfie into a fully rigged avatar like the one I'm showing right now. That AI needs to be trained on different types of photos and different types of people to generate our avatars. And so, one of the data sets that we train on, was very skewed toward lighter skin tones. So photos of people with darker skin complexion ended up not working so well. And so, I had to do extra work in making sure that, we tuned our AI to work with people, for people of color. And so, me as a co-founder CEO, that's just a big mission of mine to make sure that representation is fully recognized in our platform. All the AI technologies work with all skin tones, and genders, non-binary, female, male, um, you know, even down to our hair and our hair textures has been challenging as well. A lot of the technique have been towards more ear type hair. And so, I've been working with my team to really kind of develop some better techniques on developing really good hair, um, black hair techniques, especially like for Black women, and being able to animate that hair in real time. So these are like very technical things that, get down to the technical level that we're dealing with in terms of representation. And I believe that everyone should be represented in a true form in the metaverse. And, maybe there's other animators out there working on this stuff too, and I would love to meet them. But, I just want to put that out there. We're specifically working on making sure that this representation is a big part of what we're doing for avatars. And yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of other companies out there, and they're very monolithic, but we're a bit different.
Wow. So as we speak about culture, if someone in the culture wants to invest in DNABLOCK, what can they do to be an investor?
Yeah, so we've been in stealth for a few years. We bootstrapped the company, so we kind of floated the company on our own funds. We actually just closed our first round of funding with SoftBank as a lead investor. But there will be opportunities for accredited investors to invest in our next round of funding, which will be opening up soon in the next month or so. Also, on top of that, we'll be giving some more details about our virtual world soon. And we'll be selling NFTs, so different types of avatars. In our virtual world, we'll be selling digital venues, which will be limited. We will also have a digital currency in the future as well that people can invest in. So yeah, a lot of those details will be coming out soon. But yeah, those are the two ways that people can kind of look out and see where they want to invest in our technology and our platform. So
I love it. So you spoke of digital, what is it? What did you say? Digital, like theaters, digital places, restaurants. What is it? Digital clubs?
digital venues. So like we call them meta venues. So like basically think about it like a land or a limited space of land, and you can kind of sell plots of that land, right? So we want to sell digital venues to artists and companies to host events in those digital venues. And so they'll be sold as NFTs, and there'll be a limited amount of them. So obviously, different real estate properties will, appreciate in value. There'll be a whole market around this, right? So that's what we plan on doing. And in those venues, whoever the owner is can do whatever they want. They can have concerts, they can sell tickets, they can leave it open for free. They can sell actual merch, have a store in those venues where people can buy like exclusive items and stuff like that. So imagine this being like a mirror of the real world, but in the metaverse.
Right. So if someone wants to get involved with this, say they're listening to us right now, they say, "Man, I want my own venue. I want to be a part of this metaverse." How do they get started in doing this? Because I'm excited. I want my own venue.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I forgot to the most important part. The best place to hit us is our website, DNABLOCK.com. There are a couple of links on there. There's one that's a form to get involved with our beta program, which will give you access to our software when it releases. And then there is a Discord channel, which is a live chat where you can join in and interact with our team and other people that are in our community. So I highly recommend joining Discord because we'll be making announcements in there in real time, doing sessions and stuff in there. And yeah, those are the two main places. We also have, our Instagram, which is, DNABLOCK.ai. We have a TikTok, DNABLOCK, pretty much everywhere, Twitter and everything. So you can find us on there as well. But I highly recommend hitting our website and just getting in there because that's what we actively look at.
Perfect. So basically, they want to educate themselves or be a part of it. That's how they do it, because I think that people want to learn more about the metaverse. This is very exciting. I mean, I'm excited to even be learning about it as I'm learning now, because I want to move forward and be a part of this movement. And so I want to find out from you, as we're ready to press the movie. set the tone. How long before we can see this full scale reality in place?
Yeah, so I think we're seeing glimpses of it, but I think we're a little ways off from a true metaverse and the true definition of it at scale.
Okay.
I think before COVID, people were a little reluctant to adopt some of these technologies, metaverse technologies, but I think COVID has really accelerated things, and we're seeing a lot of pieces of the early version of the metaverse come together. With the emergence of virtual worlds that are interoperable, digital goods, gaming exploded over COVID. VR headsets are selling out. Blockchain and NFTs, have boomed, and blockchain and NFTs are really technologies that can really tie a lot of this stuff together. Um, you know, Today's generation of young folks, express themselves and learn and socialize through virtual worlds. They can touch and change and collaborate in. I don't think that's going to stop. We're seeing things becoming more digital. The physical world, clothing, real estate objects are increasingly becoming dematerialized, where they're going from actual atoms to actual bytes, like in the digital world. Um, you know, I just think everyone can see the animation in the metaverse is eating the world, kind of like where we say software is eating the world. Um, Even like we said, Facebook announced it's becoming a metaverse company. A lot of announcements around that. I think the metaverse, beyond just these virtual worlds and entertainment, will really affect almost every industry beyond entertainment, and really create entire new sets of skills and professions. I think this to be the biggest technology innovation since the mobile web. It'll be worth trillions. It's hard to predict everything that's going to be invented over the next decade, but I'm really excited to see what happens. And we saw what happened with the internet, so I'm really excited to see what people come up with in a metaverse. And that keeps me going every day, and that keeps me waking up every day looking at this stuff and working on my project, in our platform, and keeping it going. So yeah.
Wow. So let me ask you this. So we're looking at the dating world. People use social media to date all the time. So you think they're going to be up in the metaverse at the cafe?
Yeah, I think there's an app. I forget the name of it. I think there's an app where you actually date through your avatar.
Really?
I think it's like on the top 10 of dating apps on the iOS App Store right now or something. I can't remember the name, but I think that there will be dating in the metaverse. It'll be really interesting to see what platforms are created around that and what kind of experiences people create around that. But definitely, I think I think it's cool because there could be anxiety around meeting in person sometimes for people, and it maybe make certain people more comfortable with dating and meeting people. And I think it's a good thing. People might think it's strange, but I think it's a good thing for some people to be able to be more comfortable being themselves. And if there's technology can they help them do that, then I love it.
No, I agree. I think even with COVID and things like that, this opens up a whole nother door. The teachers are probably do some of their schooling through.
Yeah. Oh, the education as well. Imagine being in a virtual classroom and you're studying Egypt, and you are transported to Egypt.
Wow, so amazing.
Right? Not every school can go on a field trip to actual Egypt, but maybe in the metaverse you can go, right? And you can see what society was like in any century in Egypt, right? Through the metaverse and those experiences, and be able to walk around, and talk to people, other avatars, AI powered avatars that'll teach you about that time period or something. I don't know. I think there's a lot of opportunities around that.
No, I agree, and I think that it would generate jobs because of these different, opportunities and different types of, metaverse worlds. I think that it would open up more, finances for monetize for many homes, not just musicians. Don't you think moms and dads they can do, work from home and work in the metaverse? What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely, it's going to change, work as well. I think Facebook has launched something just today, kind of addressing that. Yeah, I mean, through COVID, we kind of gone through like working remotely and doing Zoom meetings, and people, there's been jokes around like being on camera, off camera, being in our pajamas and stuff, right? So imagine like you can still be in your pajamas, but still be professional, right? And have a suit on or something in your avatar with your avatar, and still be able to interact in the metaverse and have team collaboration. I think one industry where this has taken off is in the film industry, right? So virtual production has revolutionized, especially during COVID, how people are filming and creating content. There's limitation of people on set, and there's these virtual tools that allow directors and crew to actually be in a virtual world and in VR, and actually like build these sets and actually like create content remotely, but in a collaborative setting using VR in real time. So imagine a set designer designing a set using his VR headset in real time, and the director is like looking at the set and like giving instructions and stuff like that, but they're all in different rooms across the world.
Wow.
That's happening today. I think the latest Lion King was actually done doing a lot of virtual production as well, remote virtual production as well. So that film came together with remote teams. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see that it can go into all the different worlds. What is your thought if, let's just say if someone wants to get involved, but they're scared, they don't, I know they can go to your site to learn more, and they can learn more by, of course, watching what you've done. But what is your advice to someone that have entrepreneurial thoughts and dreams, and they don't know how to go after it, but they're watching you and they say, hey, I want to be more like Kelani. How can they be more likely to go after their own dreams, though?
I would say, look out for our platform, because we're totally suited for people to be able to just create. I'm sure a lot of people have ideas in their head. There's a lot of writers that have scripts. They've come to me like saying like, oh, I want to use your platform to maybe animate like, my script, right? And I don't have the funds to do it, to film it in real life, but maybe I could do an animated version of it. So look out for our platform. But I think, there's a lot of resources. I would say for me, I've been learning a lot of stuff just through podcasts and YouTube. Looking at some of these projects, what people are talking about, Matthew Ball is someone that I look up to as a thought leader in this space. He has a website, I think it's matthewball.vc or something like that. Or you can just look him up, it'll come up. He has like a whole primer on the metaverse, and he literally like breaks down everything that you can read through and gives you an idea of like what the future, what is to come in the future. But I just think it's important to utilize every channel to kind of really learn about this, because there's a lot of people talking about it. And I think it's important for you, as you learn about it, become a speaker, like, relay the knowledge to everyone else as well, and become a thought leader in the space as well, because it's still forming. It's not everything is set. We rely on creators to do more and kind of form this thing. So yeah, I think that's my answer to that.
So where do you see the metaverse in the next 5 years? Of course, we can't predict the future, but in your mind, where do you see us going with the metaverse?
I think in the 5 years, obviously, there's going to be definitely a bunch of virtual worlds that are interconnected. Maybe some of them are for specific purposes, but I definitely think we're going to see virtual worlds come together. I think we're going to start to see companies, even enterprise companies, have simulations of real life in the metaverse. And when I say that, there are specific use cases. Take, for instance, like simulations of factories and things to simulate certain conditions in factories to make safety better for people working in factories and things like that. I think projects like that are coming within the next 5 years. I think better hardware and technology to move our avatars and interact. So like VR headsets today are kind of clunky and big. I think they're going to slim down, and more people are going to be able to adopt them. I think AR is going to be, a bit more advanced as well. Augmented reality, some of the like glasses and headsets will probably be more sleek and and more mainstream for people to use and experience metaverse type things in the real world. Those are the things I'm imagining right now, but we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of really cool projects in AI where you can, I don't know, you can just kind of morph yourself into anything you want in the metaverse.
Right.
So I'm just excited to see how those pan out, and I'm excited to see how, like, I think artists will especially be able to monetize off of this, and I think within 5 years you're going to see like more events, not just concerts, but maybe more intimate events like listening parties and stuff for music artists to have in the metaverse. I've already been talking to some music labels, and they've been interested in that type of stuff. That's what I see in the next 5 years.
Wow. I just think this is just so exciting because, like you said, this is going to be the biggest thing since, the internet, since,
Yes.
social media. This takes it on another level because now people can be where they want to be who they want to be, and play like there's someone they're not. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's fun. And, there's going to be entertainment and fun focused, environments. And then there's going to be more serious environments where we work and, do journalism and interview people and all that type of stuff, and simulations of real world buildings and factories and, simulations. I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of possibilities, but, I'm excited to see, what creators do. That's what we're relying on as creators to come in and make things and innovate.
Yes, and take it to the next level. And then, so who's going to be designing all these clothes? Do you design the clothes in the metaverse, or we have details?
What we're working on is, we're all like, we're all techies and stuff, but I think our biggest thing is collaboration. So, we're right now working on a virtual fashion show with a UK-based designer, Milan Rattan. We're working on a fashion show for New York Fashion Week coming in September. And he's going to have a physical fashion show, like which you can attend in New York, but he's also going to have a virtual fashion show with some of his virtual clothes that we designed together. So that's going to be very exciting. We're going to be doing an NFT sale of some of the digital versions of his clothing. I think he's going to attach some exclusive physical garments to the NFTs as well, to some of the NFTs as well. So that's a really exciting project we have coming up. But yeah, in the fashion world, definitely collaborations. We're not fashion designers. We hope to be able to work with some of the top fashion houses and create digital versions of their clothes so people's avatars can wear them. And, a wider range of people can actually afford, some of these higher end clothing, shoes and stuff like that. There are some other companies like there's a company called Artifact. They have, they're a digital kind of fashion house. They started off with digital shoes, really, really cool digital shoes and stuff. So hoping to be able to do a collaboration with them soon and bring their shoes into our virtual world and have our avatars wear their shoes as well. I think they do collaborations with different worlds as well. So looking forward to that. And just collaborations with fashion designers is what we're looking at.
That's cool. I was looking at your hair, how lined up it is. So in the in the avatar world, do we change our hairstyles? Do we go get a haircut, or we just keep the one that we have on? I mean, so people want to know: do they go get their wig done? Do they change wigs? They go to the wig store. What happens?
Right. So there's going to be a whole economy around this. That's what we're making kind of this ecosystem for, right? So we're starting off with like some of our own created clothes and hairstyles and things, but what we hope is that other artists, 3D artists, come in and start to make other hairstyles that they can sell on our platform. And so, you should be able to go to a hairstylist and buy your own digital hair, right? And put it on your avatar and be able to like color it and things like that. Yeah. So you can currently do that in our platform right now, but we want our library of hairs and clothes and things like that to be infinitely expandable to everyone's kind of imagination. And those folks that are participating in our ecosystem to be able to monetize and get revenue from their creation. So we're going to have digital hairstylists that are selling hair in our platform, and it's going to be fun.
Wow. So I got a question. So you're an avatar. The avatar trips and falls. He practices too, or does he never get hurt? Are the avatar they never get hurt, or do they get hurt sometimes? I'm just interested to know. Are we animated to where we never get hurt, or are there situations with the doctor, or what's going on?
You are very creative. That's that. You know what's interesting? You know what's really interesting and fun? Actually, our avatars don't get hurt yet, but that might be an idea. But what we're looking at as well is interesting. One of our developers, so we're creating this virtual world, right? And
Right.
we created a virtual Burning Man inspired level for our virtual world. And so you can imagine the types of things you could get involved in at Burning Man and the types of effects that it have on your motor skills, like getting, drinking and things like that. We put a feature in there, so like if you drink too much, you actually like become drunk and like your view will become like kind of skewed and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun, like, you know, maybe taking digital psychedelics and stuff like that. Things that those are some of the things we've been thinking about is, to create some fun in the platform and, like, you're not out like, doing these drugs yourself. You're like, in the virtual world, and it's just like a fun experience, just you can play around with. But yeah.
Well, I'm excited about this virtual world. So, is there anything special you want to let everyone know here at Check This Out LA about the metaverse? Because we're running out of time, and I know there may be something you want to tell people who are anxious to know more about you, Anthony. Is there something you want to let them know?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about a lot here. I really encourage everyone listening to go do their research on the metaverse and what's happening in blockchain, especially with NFTs and even decentralized finance, stuff like that. Good places to go are YouTube, and I have, my personal Instagram is, a Kelani, Akelani. You can reach out to me on there and follow me there. I'm always talking to people about this stuff, so I have no holdbacks on like interacting with individual people. But I think it's just so key for us, like, for me, I just love educating people and stuff. I don't hold knowledge myself. I always try to speak out, and when I talk to people and I give them knowledge, I expect them to do the same thing. So if you're listening to this podcast, share it with people, spread the word and spread the knowledge. And this is our platform. Metaverse is our platform to create on and monetize and make money and just have fun and just be ourselves. And I think that's important, especially now with COVID and everybody being trapped inside and just what's been going on. Let's also just have a little bit of fun as well. So I think that's important to have a balance. So that's what I want to say.
Well, thank you so much, Anthony Kalani, CEO DNA Block, for joining us today here. Check This Out LA News. And we connect the streets. So I thank you guys. We'll see y'all next week here on Check This Out LA. Thank you, Anthony. I love you. God bless you. And good
Thank you.
luck and blessings with the metaverse. We'll see y'all soon. It's your girl, Michelle Dukes, signing out, and deuces.
All right, deuces.